Welcome to this explainer. We're going to jump right in today. I want you to picture something for a second. Imagine a version of yourself that is completely 100% free from the fear of judgment, failure, or, rejection. A version of you that answers to no one and really only cares about staying true to yourself. In the source material we're looking at today, this concept is called dark confidence. And we're going to break down exactly what it is, why you probably don't have it quite yet, and how to actually build it.
But to really understand dark confidence, we first need to look at what happens when you don't have it. Think about those deeply, painfully relatable missed opportunities. You know the ones. You're sitting in class, you know the exact answer, but your hand just stays down. Or maybe you're in a discussion. You've got the absolute perfect point to make, but at the very last second, you just stay quiet. Or hey, maybe you wanted to walk up and talk to someone new, but the words just never came out. Look, we have all been there. I know I definitely have, sweating over just saying a simple hello. It's hesitation, and it holds us back.
So, why does fear run the show? Why does your mind immediately just default to these worst-case scenarios? You start worrying, oh man, what if they say something back? Or what if I completely embarrass myself in front of everyone? Somewhere in the back of your mind, this fear of judgment is pulling the strings. But what if? What if you could just shut that hesitation down for good?
That brings us to our first major concept, the borrowed confidence trap.
To really shut down that hesitation, we have to face kind of an uncomfortable truth. The confidence you think you have right now, well, it probably isn't real confidence at all. Most people actually rely on what our sources call borrowed confidence. Borrowed confidence is tricky because it depends entirely on your external circumstances, rather than actually coming from within yourself. So basically, it's an illusion.
Let's take a look at the triggers for this borrowed confidence. Good grades show up? Boom. Suddenly confidence shows up. Your body looks good in the mirror today? Confidence shows up. The views and likes start rolling in online? Confidence shows up. Now, while this feels completely normal on the surface, the source material specifically warns us that it's a trap. Why? Well, because that confidence was never really yours to begin with. It's just a temporary side effect of a good situation. And as we all know, side effects never last.
Think about it like this. Imagine being number one, the absolute top of the class. Notice how, when everything is going your way and you're ranked first, confidence feels just incredibly effortless. As long as that topper is at number one, everything feels totally fine. The confidence is sky high.
But what happens when that number actually changes? The very moment that topper slips to second place, panic, anxiety, and self-doubt instantly creep in. Now, did their actual knowledge just magically shrink overnight? No, of course not. Nothing changed about their actual ability. Literally, only one external result changed. But because their confidence was entirely dependent on that specific result, it shook right along with it. It just constantly rises and falls with outcomes.
So let's move on to defining dark confidence.
If confidence built on results is just a flimsy trap, here is what the real thing actually looks like. Dark confidence is defined as a resilient sense of self-worth that stays true to itself. It's a state where your value does not move just because your results change. Now, this doesn't mean you're never going to feel fear, and it certainly doesn't mean you'll always win. But it does mean that if you fail an exam tomorrow, or if you get rejected, your actual qualities don't just vanish overnight. Your sense of self remains anchored.
The crucial point here really comes down to this quote. Real confidence isn't built on results. It's built on your own value. You see, most people's minds buy into this lie that a single result dictates their worth, which is exactly why their confidence keeps swinging wildly back and forth. But real confidence? It knows that no single outcome ever gets to decide your value.
This brings us to rule 1 of building this: level the field.
So, now that we know what it is, how do we actually build it? The first rule is simple, but it is deeply profound. Stop putting anyone above yourself. Now, let's be really clear here. This is not about becoming arrogant, not at all. It means you have to stop that habit of quietly making anyone so important in your head that you start feeling small next to them. You literally have to stop ranking people like crushes, teachers, or people you really admire as inherently above you. Think about how you act around your close friends. You're completely yourself, right? There's no overthinking what to say or, how to stand. But the moment someone you've quietly ranked as more important walks into the room, your whole behavior shifts. You start hesitating. You start chasing their approval. Your brain is suddenly keeping score of every reaction they give you. You aren't steering the conversation anymore. Their reactions are steering you.
Let's look at how to fix this with the outward focus shift.
So how do we stop chasing this approval and get back to just being ourselves?
Well, the next time you talk to someone who makes you nervous, try this outward focus framework. First, the absolute second the conversation starts, take your attention off yourself. Second, put it entirely on them. Third, ask a question. And fourth, and this is key, actually listen to the answer, finding your next question inside what they just said. You see, hesitation is born the moment your focus turns inward. But the second you genuinely focus on understanding the other person, that hesitation, it just completely dissolves.
And that leads us to our next major step. Rule 2. Accept the punch.
Once you've leveled the playing field, you're really ready for the most difficult rule in the playbook. There's a massive misconception we need to debunk right now. People just assume that those with dark confidence simply do not feel pain. That is totally false. They feel it too. Embarrassment still stings them. Rejection still hurts them. The difference isn't that they're somehow numb to it all, it's that they have already made peace with judgment and misunderstanding ahead of time.
Picture two boxers stepping into the exact same ring. The first boxer is quietly expecting to just not get hit at all. The second boxer, though, he's already accepted ahead of time that he might get hit, he might lose his balance, and he might have a really rough round. Their expectations of the ring are fundamentally different.
Now watch what happens when reality actually strikes. When Boxer 1 takes a punch, his confidence absolutely shatters because reality just completely broke his expectation. But when Boxer 2 takes the exact same punch, his confidence stays perfectly intact. Why? Because he had already made room for that bad outcome. This right here is dark confidence in one image. It comes from accepting the bad outcomes and just moving forward anyway.
Listen to this quote from the source. The real problem was never that people might judge you, it's your mind insisting that should never happen. This is a massive cognitive reframe. True freedom comes when you stop trying to avoid judgment entirely. Because honestly, no matter how well you do in life, someone is still going to misread you or laugh at what you're building. The suffering comes from expecting a perfect, judgment-free life.
So this is the ultimate mental shift we really need to make. You have to shift your focus away from what will people think of me and instead put all your energy into what do I actually need to do. That right there is where true stability lives, a stability that doesn't need validation at every single turn. And that unshakable stability is exactly what people recognize as dark confidence.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question. What could you achieve if you finally accepted the punch? What if you stopped hiding your hand in class, stopped hesitating, and made peace with the fact that, yeah, rejection might happen, but your worth won't change? It's time to stop borrowing your confidence from external validation and start building it from the dark up. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and keep learning.